This is Coco, and today we're going to talk about picking strings and ways to connect multiple pack animals together. Hi, I'm Robert, and I spend the majority of my time riding and camping. When I'm not on the trail or in camp, I can be found leading trail riding and horse camping clinics where I help horse owners around the nation gain the skills and the confidence to realize their dreams of the outdoors. Please help us keep creating content for you by using our Amazon links and by clicking that subscription button below. While you're at it, please give us a visit at trailmeister.com. It's the world's largest guide to horse trails and camps. She's a good girl. If you're packing with more than 2 animals, you're going to want a safe way to connect your pack animals. I do this with a piggen and a breakaway. Let's talk about the piggen first. For me, a piggen string is this piece here, and it serves as a permanent connection point to the pack saddle. I use strong cordage. Mine is 3/8 inch rope that's twisted. I back braid it onto a rigging ring, and then it comes back and through the arch of the pack saddle. Connected to this piggen loop is this strap, or what a dear friend and mentor of mine, Ed Halfliger, calls a leveler. And what this leveler does, it runs on this piggen and distributes the load a little bit more easily. If you didn't want to do this, you don't need to. You could just make this piggen longer so it reaches back a little bit further. I like this leveler because it goes through the hip pad of my breechin. Now you could tie the leads from your animals in the rear directly to this piggen assembly. I think that is a lousy, bad, no good idea. And this is why. This piggen assembly is tremendously strong. This 3/8 inch cord has a breaking strength over 3,000 pounds. This nylon strapping even more. So if an animal in the back falls off a cliff on a mountain, or just as simple as gets wrapped around a tree, there's no fuse in this to let an animal get out of trouble. Without having a fuse in the system, things can get interesting really quick. For my fuses or breakaways, I use 1/4 inch manila or hemp rope that I untwist into segments, and I use these to tie my breakaways. And the finished one looks like this. And this breakaway just goes through this ring, and this is what I tie my other animals to, this fuse. The strength of your breakaways is important. Too strong, and if something exciting happens, your animals aren't going to be able to free themselves and get out of danger. Too weak, and somebody could decide that it wants to break free whenever she wants. Looking at you, Coco. If I were to use this in one piece like this, I think it's entirely too strong. This has a breaking strength of about 550 pounds. That's more than 1/2 of Coco here. I want my breakaways to break at around 100 to 150 pounds. I used to use baling twine for my breakaways, but I don't anymore for 2 reasons. One, it's hard to find natural breakaway material. It's all synthetic now. And that synthetic material is much stronger than I feel safe. Secondly, synthetic doesn't break down, and that's really bad for L&T. If I were to use this for a breakaway and Coco here were to pop that fuse, this is going to lay on the trail forever. It's not going to rot and degrade away. So try not to use synthetics. It's not a good idea. If you have an animal that gets clever about her breakaways and decides to go on walkabout at leisure, there's a couple different ways that I deal with that. One, I can simply double my breakaway, so it's going to be twice as hard for her to get away, or I can move her to the front of the line and we can have some one-on-one time together while we're leading. If I'm holding on to the lead, she's not going to break away, and we'll get to have a remedial session. What do you think about that, girly girl? Huh? We've done that a few times, haven't we? When you're tying an animal to another, there's a couple different ways to do it. This is how I do it. We'll grab a breakaway here. Usually I keep these breakaways in my saddlebag. I take the breakaway, loop it through this ring, because we don't want to do a hard tie, And we'll pretend this is a lead from the animal behind. All I'm going to do is take a loop, put it through, and then I'm going to take this tag end and the loop. I'm going to put those together. I'm going to make a half hitch and put that leg of 3 together. Put another half hitch on it. And now I've got a way to bounce down the trail. This is how I normally do it. I like to make this lead pretty short. I want it to be just long enough where the girl behind Coco here can reach down, get a drink when we stop for water, and that's about it. Too long, and she's going to be stepping over it, and things are going to happen that you don't want. Too short, and Coco here is going to have a really bad time because she's not going to have any relief. So just long enough for the animal behind to get a drink of water. And this is how we'll bounce along the trail down to camp. Well, I hope that this helps explain breakaways and piggen strings a little bit more. As always, for more information about trail riding and camping with horses, give us a visit at trailmeister.com. Like I said earlier, it's also the world's largest guide to horse trails and camps. And with that, I think it's time to start putting some loads on Coco here. It's been a while. Dusty thing.